is the Transformers EARTHSPARK Deluxe Class Chaos Terran Aftermath. I didn't realize they were releasing this character in the Deluxe Class format. I picked up this figure from my local Toy Kingdom store for about $31. Let's get this guy out of packaging. And here is Aftermath out of the box, and he looks pretty good. I was a little disappointed that he does seem a little small. When we first saw him in the cartoon, he was very menacing, very imposing. A Deluxe Class sized figure might not do him justice. Should be at least a Voyager, but we'll see how it goes. He does still have the hollowness that what we've seen with Jawbreaker, which is really ruining how premium this figure should have been. Transformation can be a little tricky, which I wasn't a big fan of, but overall, I thought the robot mode did a good representation of the character from the show, and this figure I think could work both ways as a Generations figure and as a mainline EARTHSPARK figure. Let's take a closer look at the details of this new EARTHSPARK Deluxe Class Chaos Terran Aftermath.
He's like us.
Head to toe, the figure stands, including up to the spikes on his head, about 12.5 centimeters tall, or about 4 7/8 inches tall. Now, some assembly is required of the figure. The backpack, or no, that's not supposed to happen. The crane piece comes as a separate piece. The backpack needs to be assembled. You can push that in right there and then just complete the transformation by folding back the backpack and the arms. The hook is also removable. It's a shame that we don't have any accessory to make him do that like Ghost Rider or the Scorpion. Come here. I mean, it doesn't have an extra chain, because when you first saw him, he had the hook launched with a chain and just deck out hashtag, and then it retracts. I'm sure a third party upgrade kit should fix that. So those are removable parts. He also comes with a blaster that we also saw him transform his arm into. The instructions tell you to put it on his fist like this. Either way, he holds it as a pistol. But I think it's best if it's on his forearm like this, so you can actually do what he did on the show. And it does look like the Vehicon's gun, the Transformers Prime Vehicon's gun. And speaking of the Vehicon, here's that Vehicon with the sort of triangular blaster, the Predator's blaster. And I am shocked at how small this Aftermath figure is. And you can see him with a couple of deluxes. We've got the Legacy United 5-pack Trailbreaker, or Earthrise Trailbreaker. He's actually a bigger figure, so that's okay. But the Vehicon from Transformers Prime was one of the smaller Deluxe Class figures back in the day, and he's way smaller than that. And here he is with his fellow, I guess, Wavemate Deluxe Class Terran Jawbreaker. And yes, he is about 2 millimeters taller than Jawbreaker, head to toe. But he does look smaller because Jawbreaker is so massive that his girth more than makes up for his for his diminutive size. But if you pair him up with something like this, a smaller Deluxe Class figure, Minibot Gears, you can see he is just about half a centimeter taller than this small Deluxe. So he's not exactly a small Deluxe figure, but he's not a regular sized Deluxe Class figure. So yeah, he's okay. I mean, I would have wished he was bigger, but this is what we get. As far as articulation goes, the neck is on a ball joint, but you can barely make him look up or down. He just moves side to side, maybe look down a little bit. The arms are tricky. They are on ball joints, but the instructions tell you to articulate it. You got to move the shoulders out, and that's the only way you can move the arms forward, backward, 360. You can kind of go in and out because of this hinge right here, but it's a shame. The sheer volume of his WWF demolition shoulder pad is just really it's hindering articulation for the figure, and I wish there was a way they could have addressed that by having movable pieces here and there, but that would have been very difficult to transform. So yeah, this shoulder joint is really killing this figure for me, but there is a way to just move things about, and you can actually have him posed in pretty decent shooting positions. So yeah. Okay, the biceps are on swivels. You got ball jointed elbow. The wrists go up and down because of transformation. He has a waist swivel, which is great. This is what was absent with the Jawbreaker figure, so I do love that. It allows you to pose him a lot better, more dynamic poses. He's got a ball jointed hip, allow you to do the splits, kick forward and backward. And he's got that thigh swivel, which was again absent from the Jawbreaker figure, giving us some more solid pieces. There's some hollow pieces still, but he does feel a lot more solid than a Jawbreaker. The knees are on a hinge that bends up to 90 degrees, and you've got a rocker tilt that actually does really wonders. I mean, it bends a whole lot more, moves up to about 90 degrees because of transformation. And compared to Jawbreaker, you can actually have him in very decent, very dynamic straddle poses like that. And he's very solid because of the flat feet. Okay, as far as the colors go, I thought it was pretty cool. I love the paint apps. I love the purple on this guy, even the head sculpt. You see right here, the cartoon render. The colors are okay. He does have a little bit more smudge, sort of battle damage, but that's fine. I don't really like battle damage. The head sculpt is okay, but you can see right there his mohawk. He's got some spikes. This is more like he's like longer hair, but on the show they should be individual spikes for mohawk, which I don't think they molded here. Maybe for safety reasons. I don't know. But you see the wheels forming his legs. It's not as accurate with this render because mainly because of transformation. Would have been nice if they found a way to do something like that. And comparing him with the Takara Tomy version, obviously the Japanese version looks a lot better and more accurate to how he looked like on the show. Although I think the headlamps, yeah, it should have been silver, not red. The purple, I think the darker purple on that one looks better. The legs colored on all black or dark gray looks better. Definitely a more accurate looking figure than the Hasbro version. I don't have that figure. I don't know if I'm going to get it. The thing is sold out on the Japanese toy sites. I don't know why. It is sold out. And one hobby shop, or I think one online store, it said that the item has been discontinued. And it's unlikely that they'll have restocks of the figure. So this figure is actually pretty, it's a hot item on the market. Everybody seems to want it. And I get it. The aesthetics are really great. And like I said earlier in the video, he can double as a Generations figure and not just a mainline Earthrise figure. Just a quick look at that head sculpt. Phenomenal looking head sculpt, but I think the Takara Tomy version does it better with the yellow eyes and the red mohawk. I think that's more accurate than Hasbro's red eyes and purple mohawk. So transformation, it's a little testy. And I wasn't a big fan of the transformation for this one, but yeah, it was pretty involved, but a little bit satisfying once you complete it. So let's do this. Remove the weapon. We'll use that later in transformation. Okay, the instructions tell you to fold up the whole chest assembly up like this, and then fold the shoulders like that. Okay, and then it tells you to open up the shoulders like this, and then what you want to do is you want to collapse both shoulders under under the front part of the truck. So yeah, you have somehow squeeze that in, and then these pegs right here, they have to tab onto those slots underneath the shoulders right there, and then these shoulder pads need to tab together. So there's no easy way to do it. You just have to just jam everything in and tab it in like that. That was probably the most difficult part of the transformation. It took me a couple minutes to figure that one out, but that's what you need to do. Okay, then you need to rotate the the instructions tell you to rotate by the elbows, okay? So rotate by the ball joint, fold down the fists, and then you have to tab the forearms here, and the tab right there is going to tab onto the abdomen. So yeah, lots of things going on with the transformation. Okay, fold the fists down, and then rotate, and then tab, and then tab. I mean, it's not a fun transformation. It's not something you want to keep doing just to relieve stress. But when you do it, look at the front part of this truck. It looks really, really good. Very, very solid looking. Okay, now for the legs. Again, it's yet another involved part of the transformation. What you want to do is you want to fold this hinge right here under the knee hinge. So the knee hinge is here. There's another hinge right here, just above the calf. You want to sway and swing out the other wheel outwards to form this side part of the truck. And then what you want to do is you want to return and fold back that hinge, that secret hinge, that calf hinge, and it really takes a lot of effort. And then once you've done that, you're going to need to tab the wheel panel by the thighs. So yeah, you have to do that. Okay, let me show that again more clearly. That was clear as mud. Okay, the hinge underneath the calf, fold out this panel right here, and then bring it back, bring back that hinge, fold the knee, and then tab that panel. I mean, man, talk about over-engineering a figure. Okay, fold the feet this way. This is pretty standard Optimus Prime transformation. And then the weapon with the handle up, you're gonna tab it on the underside of the soles of his feet, tab them together, and then this whole leg assembly is going to tab onto the arms like this. Okay, everything needs to be timed perfectly, otherwise you're not going to be able to do it, and aligned properly. As you can see right here, I've misaligned the hips, so they're not tabbing in properly. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, and then rotate. You need to rotate this whole roof assembly, and then unpeg the window and windshield and cover that bonnet. Tab that in, and then all that's left is really to fold this down and form the back part, and he becomes Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, Disney Pixar's Cars Mater, as Evil Mater with the spikes, with the Fury Road, Furiosa spikes here, and yeah, he's Evil Mater. Definitely evil Mater. But it's a very solid, very satisfying alt mode. Yeah, there's a ton of gaps here and there, but that's easily forgivable because the front part is very, very solid. You get a lot of solid pieces here, and then look at all the gaps there. And I don't know how they could have engineered this better, but I think it's pretty over-engineered for a simple toy or a simple deluxe class transformation. Perhaps had they chosen to make this one a Voyager class figure, they probably would have extra budget to do that, fill that out, and do a better transformation. So let's do some size comparisons. Here he is with a standard deluxe class figure. This is the War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Deluxe Class Sideswipe. He still looks pretty small. It's a spike that's making it bigger. But yeah, for a truck, it's pretty much tiny. Like cute little truck. It's a vintage tow truck. Not entirely sure what brand it is, but I've been searching on the internet, and the closest one I got is a photo from Alamy, and it looks to be, what is that, a Chevy? Is that a Chevy truck? Something like that, 1940s Chevy tow truck. That's the closest I could find to what this thing resembles as. There's 6 wheels. Really, really menacing. Maybe turn him into a Voyager class would be comparable to an Optimus Prime figure, but it is what it is. It still looks great, though. Looks cute and menacing. Evil Mater alt mode. And so some final thoughts on this EARTHSPARK Deluxe Class Aftermath. I kind of feel that this figure has been overhyped. It's been sold out in the Japanese toy sites, and the uncertainty of whether Hasbro is going to release it or not really drove the demand for this figure. But now that we know Hasbro is releasing it, like now, because here in Manila, this thing's out at Toys R Us and Toy Kingdom at $31, I think it's a little overhyped. I think the figure is too small to represent the character. The sculpt is great. I thought the aesthetics were amazing. The paint apps on this Hasbro version definitely is inferior to the Takara Tomy version, but a little customizing can fix that. As far as playability of the figure, I thought the engineering was a little over engineered in my opinion. The transformation wasn't all that fun. I had a lot more fun playing with the Jawbreaker figure than this one. But between the two, aesthetic wise, just the design and feel and the character itself, I mean, I can imagine why people would want this more. I actually think this is a more badass figure than that Jawbreaker figure, obviously. It's just that there's a it was a little annoying trying to pose him around and transform him because of the tightness and clearances of that, which could have been addressed had they made this a Voyager class figure. As far as quality goes, I thought they handled it better with this one. There's less of the hollow spaces here and there. There's more solid pieces here and there, giving him more premium feel than probably the Jawbreaker figure. So, yeah, I think it's the better figure, but I don't think it's a super perfect figure that you absolutely must go out and get and hunt it down. You know, if you're a big fan of the character, maybe wait for a bigger version, maybe even if it's a gimmick figure, a bigger version of Aftermath is certainly better because he's just too small as a deluxe class. So with that combined with the engineering, the aesthetic, look and feel and quality of this figure, and overall design, I think I can give it a 9 out of 10. It's still a tremendous figure. It's a terrific figure, don't get me wrong. I just think it's too small and a little bit too over-engineered for a deluxe class figure. But that's just me. Let me know in the comments what you think of this Transformers EARTHSPARK Deluxe Class Chaos Terran Aftermath. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.